I would like to take the opportunity to especially acknowledge all the leaders who are here and therefore all protocols observed. I would like to welcome you members of the press and thank you for coming and the opportunity you've given us for you to speak to the nation. The first thing I want to say, mainly is the main thing I want to say, is that I'm glad to be here and been absent due to various difficulties I face health-wise. But I'm glad to be here today and thank you for receiving us. Thank you, members of the Council of Leaders, and I thank God for the opportunity to speak to the nation. I want to say that as you have seen, I am the Vice Chairman of the Alliance, who was Vice Chairman of the Alliance to our Chairman, the late President Lungu, who is in glory right now, though we are facing the challenges of the interment of his remains, for which we believe it has not been necessary. Why I've mentioned my position, I was, by the way, the founding chairman, okay? The founding interim chairman. Let it be recognized that besides this, there is no other TONSE Alliance. There's no other TONSE Alliance. This is TONSE Alliance. Whatever may have been pronounced by one or two other people and meetings which were not attended by me or convened by me and Honorable Lubinda and Honorable Nakacinda is not genuine meeting. You need to ignore it. Having said that, our goal as TONSE Alliance is leaders is to unite all the TONSE members so that we can speak with one voice and to forge ahead with one voice. That is number two. Number three, whatever announcement may have been made concerning the forthcoming Congress, General Congress of the Alliance, should be ignored. This is the team that will come up with the correct date and requirements for people to pay, if there will be payment, those for candidates for the president or for contributions from political parties or alliance members. That will have to be approved by us and not anyone else. So those pronouncements should be ignored, and anyone who pays money, they will be losing money. I want to end there, and I believe call upon my co-chairman to speak.
Thank you.
And the resolutions that have been made will be read on our behalf by the General Secretary.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Co-Chair, President, and Chief Apostle Dan Pule. I'll ride on the protocols that you've already established. And simply to say, my fellow countrymen, women and youths, today has been a very important day in the calendar of the TONSE Alliance. Important in the sense that the events of the recent past have been abused to show as though TONSE is split. TONSE is not split. And like Chief Apostle Dan Pule has said, all those organizations that are members of the TONSE Alliance will be alive to the fact that TONSE is alive and TONSE is gathered here this afternoon. We had a very important meeting today and we held the meeting in the spirit of service and sacrifice. Service and sacrifice to Mother Zambia, because we are alive to the fact that ours is not self-serving. Ours is a service to the suffering masses of Zambia. The Zambian people are currently living in a country of despair. The majority Zambians can ill afford 3 square meals a day. Our businesses are collapsing because we don't have sufficient energy to power our industries. Butcheries are closing down because of load shedding. Saloons, barber shops, welding shops are all closed because of the mismanagement of our country. We gathered here today with a deep sense of responsibility and recognizing the fact that the Zambian people need hope. And that hope can only be found in a united opposition. We in the leadership of the TONSE Alliance have a duty to the Zambian people, and driven by the vision that was shared with us by our founding president and chairman, Edgar Chagwalungu, we have to unite all opposition political parties in Zambia. We do not intend to leave anyone behind, because we are alive to the fact that Zambia needs a strong and formidable and visionary opposition. Alone, we will run fast, but will not run far. Together, we shall run far. We conclude today by appealing to all opposition political parties in Zambia to bury our personal egos and to bury the egos of our political parties, our individual political parties, so that we forge together. 2026 is round the corner. We ought to inspire our people. And inspiring them cannot come from individuals. Inspiring them will only come from us working together. This is a month of reconciliation in Zambia. We appeal to all those who may have been injured by whatever action or words that have been uttered in the past to bury the hatchet. Let us call ourselves to a fresh start. Let us all bear in mind that we are politicians not for ourselves. We are politicians to serve the Zambian people. And we, gathered here, have committed and reinvigorated ourselves to do just that, to serve the people of Zambia diligently, faithfully, sincerely, and with determination. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairs. Mine now is to present a communique that contains the resolutions of today's meeting. Wednesday, the 8th October 2025, the TONSE Council of Leaders held a meeting here at Patriotic Front Secretariat, co-chaired by Honorable Given Lubinda, Acting President of the PF, and Chief Apostle Dan Pule, President of the Christian Democratic Party. The meeting was convened to deliberate on urgent matters arising from recent political and legal developments that have generated public concern and required collective consultation among alliance partners. After careful deliberations today, the following resolutions were adopted. One, that a council of leaders, as already alluded to by Chief Apostle Dan Pule, in the TONSE Alliance, wish to distance the alliance from the purported list of portfolios and accompanying office bearers, as the same were unprocedurally generated, were never an outcome of the alliance's working policies and procedures, and further lacked general consensus. In light of the foregoing, the Council of Leaders further guides that a purported list of leaders issued as purported by late President Lungu is actually fraudulent, because we all know the acting president, the vice chair, who were all constantly in consultation with the late chair of the TONSE Alliance, the late sixth Republican president, may he so rest in peace, do confirm that there was no such development, or indeed a list that now is being purported to have been generated by him, and that it was instructed to be actualized. It was procedure generated, never the outcome of the alliance working policies, like I said, and the procedures and further lacked general consensus. In light of the foregoing, the Council of Leaders further guides that the purported list, as I said earlier, issued in the name of President Lungu is fraudulent, as the process of concluding council portfolios was pending at the time of the former president's demise. And the person who was charged with this responsibility with the team was Honorable Lucky Munusa. And those who care to get the facts, he is a public figure, a senior citizen, and a known politician. And therefore you can reach him, who's also a bona fide member of the Council of Leaders. You'll be able to clarify, and he actually happens to be here today. In the spirit of what has been said, a fresh start, reconciliation, and being the month of October, as it has been said, a team that was earlier constituted quietly and today adopted by the Council of Leaders, led by President Peter Sinkamba, assisted by Professor Nason Ngoma, Dr. Canisius Banda, Honorable Silva Charikosa, and I think others that will be incorporated along the way, has been undertaking activities of engagement and dialogue with all of us, and that the work is ongoing. And we have since given 7 days from today to the 15th of October 2025 as a date, the process of engagement to foster reconciliation and unity for the late president, who declared that date as a date of national prayer, repentance, and reconciliation. And the nation is called upon to gather to have democracy and development was gracious enough to accept the responsibility, assisted by Council Angola, and initially it was the Council Makebi Zulu, but we know the responsibility that is undertaken on our behalf and on behalf of the Zambian people out of jurisdiction, who has since been replaced by Council Celestine Mkandila, who is also the youth chairman for the TONSE Alliance, and also the legal chairman of Patriotic Front, Mr. George Sanga, and Madam Harriet Kateneka, who has just been co-opted today, and also Madam Aida Mwanza, who has also been co-opted today, and obviously there will be more people that will be added. They continue to work, but with only 7 days that was given to finalize the process of collecting views from stakeholders, particularly member political parties of the TONSE Alliance and other organizations that are members of the TONSE Alliance. And we are hoping that by the 15th, they will be actually, concluding collecting the submissions, and on the 22nd, which is 7 days later, they will have presented to the council a new MOU, which basically we're going to be operating under. The other resolution is that after the fresh start, which we are hoping will be achieved by the 18th of October, we will begin to define the way forward in terms of packaging ourselves before the end of November on how we are going to face the 2026 elections. The Zambian people are looking, obviously, for a very defined way forward. We have been very careful not to make certain pronouncements today, because I think we cannot be able to make a clear roadmap without sorting out the issue of us being reconciled. So between now and the 18th of October, every well-meaning member of the TONSE Alliance and every well-meaning Zambian, they will be making efforts and contribution to make sure that this unity that is required but threatened today, by that date, will be a thing of the past. We will be a united TONSE Alliance, and from that unity, we will begin to foster unity among the opposition. So those of our colleagues who have the perception that there is anybody trying to work against them or to disadvantage them, the Council of Leaders that met today have resolved, and we want to assure them there is nobody who has intentions or indeed an ambition or a plan to disadvantage anybody. Zambia requires every input from every well-meaning Zambian. And if you mean well, all of us will cooperate in the process of reconciling and coming up with a solid, united TONSE Alliance and be able to present ourselves in a credible manner to the Zambian people. And all those who have applied to join the TONSE, we resolve today that the process of accepting and welcoming new members will begin immediately, and we'll be able to formally communicate, and like all it has been done in time past, the co-chair and the leadership of the TONSE will begin to receive, but will receive members having made them understand our values and the rules of, the governing document or the regulations that govern us. We will not want to engage or welcome people through trickery, through deceit. Anything of that sort will not help the alliance to grow or to go anywhere. We committed ourselves to stand on the truth. We committed ourselves to stand on sincerity. We committed ourselves to make sure that dignity defines the activities that we undertake as TONSE Alliance. Thank you very much, and God bless. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Chief Apostle. Thank you very much. God bless, and I'm sure that's in the right place. You want to ask questions, please?
Yes. First of all, I want to appreciate your maturity, of the way you are handling the issues of the internal affairs of the TONSE Alliance. I've got a question and the advice. The advice I'm giving is that you are the pioneers of democracy. And since you are the pioneers of democracy, Zambia has got a relationship with America and Britain. And we have seen the UPND government fighting you as the major opposition political party. But it seems like these major players, the United States of America and the embassies, you have not utilized them. Because this battle is not only within ourselves, it is also affecting the outsiders who came from other countries in the respect of democracy in the Republic of Zambia. So I call upon your leadership, especially you, the opposition political parties. Our vision is to see that Zambia is united, and can only be united if you people are going to be united. The other team and your team, you are fighting one common goal, is to win an election in 2026. So we are not going to be happy. Zambian people are calling us to say, tell them, we are not interested to see you people fighting, especially the opposition. God will bless you when you put a leader who's going to take us to the promised land. Zambian people are crying, and they're hoping that you people, you are going to have tolerance, because politics is about tolerance. And remember, there are people who are in prison. Our brothers and sisters are in prison. When Mandela was in prison, the people who were left outside are the people that were fighting until Mandela came out and they won an election. And those who are in prison were set free. So if you people begin to fight, you are killing those who are in prison. Understand that point, and God is looking up to you to fight on their behalf. So I ask you in the name of God, all of you, forgive each other. Put your differences away. Yes. Look what the Zambian people, the big picture of the Zambian people, yes. Not yourselves. Yes. Please, I beg you in the name of God. Then here, we have got a problem here. We have got an issue here. We have, I'm going to, as a media personnel, I'm going to say we have got TONSE A and TONSE B. We cannot run out from this fact. So if the TONSE A is saying that list was released was illegal, why is it called illegal? Because you were among those people. You were working together with them. So who's going to explain to the Zambian people to understand whether that list that has come out was illegal or it is legal? I think that's the question I wanted to ask.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Is there any other further questions? First of all, any product of fraud, it doesn't matter whether it justifies the means. Meaning, if you just want to be president or you want to get into government, it should be on the basis of hook or crook. I think the means also justifies the end. Ambition that takes you to a level where you are ready to kill, you are ready to steal, you are ready to engage in any criminality just to arrive at that particular position. It means that actually you are disqualified for leadership. What we are correcting here is basically the fact that what was pronounced was fraudulent arrived at. It speaks, first of all, against our culture. You can't start putting words in the mouth of a person who has passed on. It is morally wrong, it's culturally wrong. And also procedurally, when it comes to the alliance comprises of member political parties who still enjoy their sovereignty or autonomy, if you like. If there are going to be any members from FDB deployed to the council, even when I'm Secretary General of the TONSE Alliance, I don't have the right to start appointing members of the FDD as deployees to the alliance. That right is preserved for the leadership of FDD. And that is the same when it comes to Patriotic Front. We can't have people who are not leaders of Patriotic Front, for example, beginning to appoint members of Patriotic Front without even following the procedures within Patriotic Front, which requires that anybody that is being appointed to any portfolio will require that the Central Committee be the one that to ratify and deploy them. And like I said, Mr. Munusa is available for you to be able to ask that question, and he will possibly speak more to why that list is fraudulent. And I think for now, that's what I can say. And all those matters, when we go through reconciliation is only genuine when it is anchored on two things: love and truth. What we are communicating is the true picture of what is going on. We are trying to beacon our friends that please, the root of wanting to trick each other will not build TONSE, but the root of facing each other, if they are doing the right thing, is to come to the table, discuss those issues. If they have better ideas on how this thing can be done, persuade each other, come up with a common position and move forward. And for us, we are saying an olive branch has been extended to everybody, including those who may have insulted us. And we're also saying, like Acting President said, those who may have felt offended by anything that could have been done or said, we're saying let's bury all that and begin afresh. And our target is 18th of October 2025, the day of prayer and repentance and reconciliation. And I think it's better that at this particular point, so that this matter doesn't come again, Honorable Musa, maybe you can come and sit briefly here and explain, because you are the one who has brought a problem. You were the one charged by President Lungu to deal with this matter. Please come.
Thank you very much, SG. Thank you very much, the two chairs. Indeed, we need to give that matter finality and clarity. Yes, I must admit that President Lungu gave me the mandate to come up with the suggested portfolios, and I didn't work alone. President Sean Tembo was co-opted in my group together with Ephraim Shakafuswa and Dr. Chris Zumani. We started working on that list by initially identifying the developmental challenges of Zambia. And out of that, we suggested possible solutions. And obviously those solutions could not drive themselves. Those solutions needed to be driven by portfolio committees. So we came up with about 64 portfolio committees, which were later reduced to 57. Now, we were going step by step, and in subsequent meetings, presentations of work in progress presentations were being made. From that one, from that stage, we now came up with what would be possible cabinet portfolios that were going to be in form of shadow cabinet positions to shadow our colleagues in government, so that if there is a particular policy pronouncement from a particular secretarial ministry, we would have somebody to answer back to that. We also used the background of the last cabinet setup of the PF as of August 2021, which had 28 sector cabinet ministries. And then from there, we now decided to come up with a lean cabinet that we are going to sell to the Zambian people. And we came up with 17 cabinet portfolios. At that stage, we were faced with a number of by-elections. So that work was packed, so that when we had gone over by-elections, we would then finalize the portfolios, adopt them, and now come up with the people to occupy those positions. At that point, President Lungu left for South Africa and he never came back. So by the time President Lungu was leaving us, that matter still remained as packed work in progress. Now let me just inform the nation, for those that have dealt with President Lungu before and participated in meetings, you will recall that President Lungu was a Democrat in the way that he managed affairs in cabinet or even in the party. If you had any suggestion and you had a one-on-one discussion with him, he would always refer you to the larger grouping for that particular idea to obtain general consensus. He was not one type of a person who would just phone you in the middle of the night and ask you to come up with something and start announcing it to the general public when you belong to an organized formation that has policies and procedures. So I stand here to actually confirm that that list is not representative of the outcome of TONSE Alliance products. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that clarification, I'm sure we'll come to the end of this.
I've got another one. Yes, let me ask you. We saw President Peter Chanda pulling out of TONSE Alliance. What assurance are you telling the Zambian people that all of us here and those who are watching, we are going to be on the ballot paper as TONSE, one of the political parties? Because we have seen leaders pulling out of TONSE.
Today you have seen us meet here, and among the things that we pronounce ourselves to is a work of a team led by President Peter Sinkam, which has been working quietly, and some of the products are before you. And I think from what we have said, assuring you and the Zambian people, we cannot re-emphasize. I think our actions and what we'll do in the coming days will demonstrate to you that we are committed, because all this also requires divine intervention, because we are not just dealing with politics. What is happening in this country needs also divine intervention, because there is no justification that in the face of the misery and torment that the Zambian people are going through, somebody will be reckless around the opportunity that presents itself for the opposition to be able to change government. So I think we need not just to pray with each other, maybe even pray for other people, so that this whole process succeeds.